Welcome to the Serendipitous Rebel podcast. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Crystal. This podcast is for the adventure-loving, purpose-driven, action-minded, authentic, and rebellious entrepreneurs.
Just like us. And just like you, we are trying to figure shit out. So join us as we talk about business and life and everything in between. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the newest episode of Serendipitous Rebel podcast. Hi, I'm Wendy, and I'm here with Crystal. I could have let you say your own name. Do you want to say your name?
No, I'm good. Sounds better coming from you anyway.
Today, I'm introducing myself also as the fur mom to Pebbles. Pebbles is a 5-year-old Yorkshire Terrier. We are going to talk about pets in the online space as entrepreneurs.
How many of you, like me, when Wendy proposed the topic, was like, what? Why? And then Wendy told me and I was like, oh, yes. So before I let her explain why, I am the fur mama of Severus, who is a 1-year-old border doodle. And Lynx and border doodle. It sounds like a made up breed too, but he's not that little though. Pebbles is little. Severus is huge. Well, huge for me. He's the largest dog I've ever had. Why pets, Wendy?
Yeah, it's not just because it's really fun to introduce yourself as a fur mom and talk about, your adorable pet kind of thing. But also, as we have merged into this online space, this virtual world, pets have played a different role, I think, as for us entrepreneurs. And one of the things is that there are constant companions. And if you are, how did you put it? A cave. When we work in a cave, you have in a lot of cases, you have a pet that's alongside of you who may not deliver the coffee or the tea, but offers the companionship that a lot of us need. The pet may not answer the questions that you ask of them, but hey, you never know.
So it doesn't stop us from asking. It doesn't stop us from asking.
Exactly. So not only is there the companionship of knowing that another breathing creature is there with you as you work through your day. Also, I think that we have started to use our pets, and I don't mean to say like use, but use our pets as a way of showing our authentic self, of identifying a little bit more about ourselves that I think is wonderful when it comes to our branding. What says you, oh marketing guru?
I loved that idea. And of course, when you said anything for branding, my ears immediately perked up, kind of like Severus's does when I say treat. But it's kind of this idea that, when I think of you in a kayak with your personal branding, and so for those that don't know, link in show notes, Wendy's Instagram page, Rebel on the Go, she's in a kayak a lot of the time. It's where she ends up going live in our group, is from a kayak often. And often she also has Pebbles with her. And so she has the cutest pictures of her in this kayak with this little Yorkshire Terrier. And it's like, he's so adorable. He's just like sitting there with you. And I'm like, how are you doing that? Because there's just... Also, because I still have a dog in very much the puppy stage, and dogs in the puppy stage are like toddlers running around your house without a diaper. Like it's just a lot of work, and it's kind of I'm in like that exhausting stage. And I remember, we've had dogs before. We had a gap in between our last puppy and this puppy because it's just hard to lose a dog. I look at you with that and I just think that's hilarious and cute. And I will think about that always. And then how many times are we in a Zoom call, and not just between you and I, but on coaching calls with clients or with our group, and Pebbles hops in, or and it's not even that we see him, but you might talk to him off
Yes.
camera, off the side. And it becomes part of a personal brand. I think a lot of people do this with their pets. I see a lot of people post pictures of their cats or their, I'm not getting anything done. And they've got cute little pictures of their cats, in their laps. Or I've done podcast recordings where I've interviewed people and their cat walks like, because cats just don't give a fuck. They just started walking across the keyboard, like right across in front of them. Right. It becomes cute. It becomes, and I don't want to say gimmicky because gimmicky sounds unauthentic, but I think we do. And especially when you are fur moms, you do start talking about your pets like you talk about your children. They are a member. I mean, they are in our family anyway. And I know for sure Pebbles is in yours. In fact, the hierarchy might be Pebbles up here, kids down here. Sometimes it's that way in my household.
And for those who can't actually see, here Pebbles is, I don't know, forehead height. And the kids could be somewhere around the gut. Yeah. Like the dog is just definitely has a higher hierarchy sometimes than the kids. Yeah.
And so when we talk about our personal lives, which if you've ever heard me speak about your personal brand before, you need to talk about your personal. That doesn't mean you need to verbal vomit your entire life story, but people need to see you as a human still too. And I think our pets humanize us a lot.
Oh, there's no question. I've seen, in addition to dogs and cats, birds, some really gorgeous, all of a sudden a bird flies by. It's like, oh, wow. Or the pet hamster or the lizard, oh my gosh. It's always interesting. Like, why does your pet have that name? Or why did you choose that type of pet? And I do think it allows us to open up in actually a very safe way. Usually talking about your fur babies is a lot of times easier than talking about your children. A lot of people don't want to get into personal things about their kids, which I completely respect. It's hard not to hey, this is my adorable, my fur baby. And I do, let's see, we both know an entrepreneur whose dog likes to sleep a lot and you can hear the dog breathing. It's like, oh my, what's that?
You hear the dog snoring in the background.
Yeah. I love that we've gotten to the point where pretenses to a large extent have fallen by the wayside to really allow us to open up and be authentic. I'm happy to be known as Pebbles' mom. Yes, Pebbles kayaks with us. And a lot of the times you may see him on my husband's kayak sort of floating behind me.
Yep.
Something, or right there with me. And I'll tell you, why does he do that? Why does Pebbles do that? Because Pebbles, even though I don't think he likes to kayak, I don't think he likes the need to have to worry about balancing. He wants to be with us. So it's all for the love of us, which is so sweet. I think that there's good ways and not so good ways of how you go about incorporating your family treasures into your branding. I would assume you think that as well.
Yeah, I think, everything in moderation. If every post is about your dog, then I don't think you have anything else of substance to talk about. I've seen that. I have seen that. And I am judgy on that. But I also am judgy of people who overshare on their kids and just overshare their personal garbage in general. I think that I bet that there's a balance, like with everything. And I think you touched on something interesting too, because I think it is super funny how our pets reflect our personalities. It's like how some people start to look like their dog after a while. You know what I mean? Or they're like how spouses start to look like each other after a while. When I think about pets and I think about I think about pets' personalities and I think about how it relates to their owners. I think that that's really interesting because I think Pebbles just wanting to be out in the water because he loves you and because it's a belonging and it's
yes.
And that's like 100% you. And he is just very lovable and very like kind of chipper, but also does his own thing. He's just going to kind of go do his own thing sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Yeah. And what I think is really important, sometimes it's a safer way to project you, because you can make that projection of yourself onto, and it may not just be a projection. It may be that your dog is a reflection, but nonetheless, it's safer to say the importance of belonging, and you can see it in my dog, than for me to be super vulnerable about my need for belonging.
Completely fair, because there are things that again, it becomes relatable, because you brought up the dog that snores in the background of our friends' videos, and that's hilarious. I have another friend who's an entrepreneur. She has a little beagle, and this dog carries its bed around with him everywhere. And so it doesn't matter where he's going. If he's going outside to go to the bathroom, or if he's running down the hall, he's got this giant bed in his mouth, like that he's running down the hall. So she just posts random stories of this itty bitty dog running around with this bed. And so you start to know, like, what is Jack up to today? Like, what crazy antics is that dog up to today?
She's not running around pulling a bed behind.
No, she's not running around pulling a bed around her, but there's probably...
And we're definitely not saying that the person we know with the sleeping dog, we're not saying she snores.
She might.
Well, she might, but I don't think so. But anyway, it's just, that's really cute. And, there is a way of incorporating that into, especially social media, that is light and humorous. And if done, as you say, not on an hourly basis or something like that, that can be, I don't know. I look forward to seeing pictures of or stories about other people's pets. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. And the ability to be vulnerable with our pets too, because our pets are the things that comfort us. I know if I'm crying or if I'm upset, my dog comes and lies in my lap. They just know. And, we got Severus, and he is going to be trained as a service animal for my youngest. And so when she's having an episode or she's having an issue, we scoop him up onto the bed with her, and he licks her face. And it's just like this very tender, very sweet thing. So it is amazing of how much we love our pets, how much they do become incorporated into our lives. And like you said, they are the thing that's sitting here in the office right now, laying down here, hanging out with me during the day.
Yes. I mean, Pebbles is so ignoring me. He's like, you're not doing anything that interests me right now.
Severus is having severe FOMO because Brandon pulled him out of the office, and he's staring at me through the office doors going, let me in, let me in, let me in. And if that's not me, I don't know what is.
They're so cute. So, yeah. So, what I'd love, and let's figure out how I would love to see pictures. I love looking at pictures of pets. So I would love anyone who wants to share, especially if their pet is somewhere in their office helping work, would love. And you can hop over to, let's see, Rebel on the Go, our Facebook community, and post pictures in there. I want to see pets. I want to see pets.
We want to see all your pets. So link in show notes for the group, you guys. I think that's it for today. Just something a little bit lighthearted on the ballot for today, but until next time.
Yes. So it's now time for us to go love on our dogs.
The perks of entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you next week.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a rating.
But only if you liked it. Otherwise, just keep it to yourself.
You can learn more about our upcoming masterminding opportunities on our website at serendipitousrebel.com.
And if you have topics you'd like to hear about, be sure to submit them on our website or DM us on social media.
Hey, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.